Yesterday we completed with discussing the enterprise structure, and we have to discuss one item, that is reference data set. Reference data set. Okay. Reference data set. This is a new concept in Fusion. Reference data set. So suppose an example, suppose take this configuration example, payment terms. Payment terms, okay. Here net 15 is nothing but we can, when you are creating a purchase order, to the supplier, you can specify the net 15 or net 30 or net 45, which means you are promising the supplier that you are going to make the payment in 15 days or 30 days or 45 days or 45 days. This 2 by 10 net 30 is nothing but we have 30 days time, but if you pay in 10 days, 2% discount you'll get. If you pay in 10 days, 2% discount you'll get, but we have 30 days time. Okay. Suppose if you take this payment term setup in the application, payment term setup. So this is one operating unit and this is another operating unit. This is another operating unit. And here we are defining the same. Here we are defining the payment terms, and here also we are defining the same payment terms. Here also we are defining the same payment terms. Suppose if the client is having 50 operating units, if the client is having 50 operating units, 50 into 4. 50 into 4. Okay. Again, this is a redundancy. Again, this is the duplication. Okay. To avoid this, and also to save the time also, in Fusion, reference dataset concept is available. In Fusion, reference dataset concept is available. Okay. So here we are defining the setups under reference dataset. See here. What is the reference dataset name here? Common is the reference dataset name. Common is the reference dataset name. So there are 3 payment terms are there. Those 3 payment terms we are linking to the common reference dataset, and that common reference dataset we are linking to the business units. We are linking to the business units. Suppose if one more business unit also introduced, then we can link the same reference dataset to that business unit. And if one more business unit introduced, and the same reference data set can be attached to that business unit. Okay. So instead of linking the setups directly to the business unit, we are linking through the reference data set. Okay. And I would like to explain. Okay. So if you see here, these are the business units. These are the business units, and I have how many reference data sets here? I have how many reference data sets?
4. Sorry, 2.
I have 2 reference data sets. Okay. And so 3 business units are sharing the common configurations. But coming to China business unit, China is having a separate reference data set, separate, because China setups and China configurations are different. They are separate. We can define this way also. Okay. And also each setup level, each setup level. Suppose coming to salespersons or payment terms or jobs of the employee, grades of the employee, you would like to access from which reference data set also we can specify. We can specify. Suppose if you see jobs and grades are common, jobs and grades are common under China business units. For jobs and grades, you can select for jobs and grades you can select common. So that means the jobs and grades are common across the business units. But coming to salespersons and payment terms are specific to the China business unit because we created a reference data set called China. Not only assigning the reference data set to the business unit, we can also assign reference data set to the configurations also, to the configurations. So if you see here the configuration list, the jobs and grades we are accessing from the common reference data set for China business unit, but coming to salespersons and payment terms, we are accessing from the China business unit. So this is also possible. Okay. So I'll show you by configuring the application in this way. Okay. So examples you will find under example sheet in the same spreadsheet, the same spreadsheet. Click on the examples to see the examples of the concepts. Again, I'm coming back to the basics sheet. And later on, how many ways we can create reference data set? In how many, sorry, I'm sorry, in how many ways we can create a enterprise structure? In how many ways we can create enterprise structure? There are three ways are there. There are three ways are there. Okay. The first one is rapid implementation. The first one is rapid implementation. This is nothing but Oracle has provided an Excel sheet. In that Excel sheet, you have to fill the data. You have to fill the data and upload the spreadsheet. Upload the spreadsheet, nothing but upload the Excel sheet into the application. So using this rapid implementation method, we can create a till, I remember, I think I did this concept long back. I remember, I think we can define till business units for sure, but I think inventory organization is also possible, I think. Okay. So by using this rapid implementation concept and by using the Oracle provided spreadsheet, nothing but Excel sheet, fill the data in the Excel sheet and upload the data so that we can create till business unit. But inventory organization also, I'm not sure. Please, please practice yourself and let me know. This is the video. For rapid implementation, this is the video. Okay, because rapid implementation concept is mostly used by the financial consultants. Is mostly used by the financial consultants. That's why this topic is covered in the financial classes. Financial classes. So this is the YouTube video. This is our YouTube video. So open this and try the concept and let me know if you find any challenges. And the other way is enterprise structure configurator. Enterprise structure configurator. Okay, I'll show you this method. The second method I'm explaining. The first method is rapid implementation and the second method is enterprise structure configurator. I'm navigating to setup and maintenance. Give me a second, I'll plug in my charger. So setup and maintenance, from the drop down, I'm selecting either financials or procurement, anything, because the first four configurations task list is same. If you select any offering, okay, I'm selecting procurement. Under procurement, select enterprise profile, and then from required task to change to all task, and the first task. So this is called as a task list. And this is called tasks. Okay, I'm selecting the first task, establish enterprise structure, and then click on new, enter the name, okay. So see, from the single screen, we are creating most of the entities here. We are creating most of the entities. Divisions we are creating, legal entities we are creating, business units we are creating, reference data sets we are creating. Okay, so most of the entities we are creating from the single screen. So this screen is also used for the general in real time. This configuration page, the screen is used to provide demo to the client. The screen is used to provide the demo to the client. Okay, so in front of the client itself, we can discuss and we can configure how many divisions the client is required, how many legal entities client is required, and how many business units client is required, and what is about a reference data set. So we can present this screen to the client and we can discuss and we can configure in front of the client itself. And enterprise name, TechLeads Corporation, and then short name, TechLeads IT, primary industry into education services, headquarters in India, okay, and legal entity interface information. So this legal entity name should be as per your registration document. Should be as per the registration document, because sometimes the company names are like this: private limited or public limited, okay, or TechLeads IT Inc. Right? So company names are going to be different like this. So your legal entity name should be as per the legal document, So as per my registration, as per my GST document, this is my company name. As per my GST registration document, this is my company name. Okay, and legal entity identifier, enter some number. So these details you will find under the registration document. These details, okay, and then legal address. So while you are registering the company, which address you have provided to the government, okay, and I'm creating the address. So we are in SR Nagar, and then opposite to SR Nagar police station. Pin code. Okay, I'm entering some number from the, okay. is the issue with this page? So there is some issue with this page. It seems to be, if I enter pin code, it is not taking, and if I select from the search results also, it is not taking. Based on the pin code, the state is changing, but the pin code is not displaying over there. Yeah, if I select OK, it says it's a mandatory field. I always find this issue with India geography. Some geography setup issues are there. I'm selecting United States. And I'm trying to create here. Okay, so there is some issue with India geography location setup. So that's why I had to change to US. Okay. And here in these two sections, we are creating the enterprise and we are creating the legal entity here. Okay. And if you see in the bottom of the page, are you okay with single legal entity for single country, or you would like to continue the interview with the client to set up more legal entities? Are you okay with one legal entity for one country, or you would like to continue the interview with client to set up more legal entities? Continue with interview to set up more legal entities. I'm selecting this option and then click on the next button. Okay, and then divisions. I'm operating in US, so I'm creating the division name like this. And then location, the one which we created, we can select that. We can create, otherwise the location that we already created can be selected from here. So here I'm creating divisions based on the geography. Based on the geography, because how I'm defining them, India and US, based on the geography, I'm creating them. And for India, we not created any location, so selecting a location could be okay. Okay, so I could not able to find the existing locations, and if I click on create, right, we have the pin code issue for India. I'm just removing it. So I'm creating only one division and click on next. And so this is again legal entity screen. We already created one legal entity. And if you want to create more legal entities, click on the plus button and create more legal entities. Okay. And then click on next. Click on next. So this is mapping. This is mapping. Mapping is nothing but we have one legal entity, right? You want one business unit for that legal entity? Yes. I want one business unit for that legal entity. So this is automatically system would like to generate the business units. Automatically system would like to generate the business units for you based on the number of legal entities. So since I enable this checkbox, system will try to create a business unit for me. So see here. So right now I'm in the business unit screen. Automatically system has created a business unit. This is the business unit code and this is the business unit name.
Sir, hello.
Hello?
Sir, number of legal entities depend on the number of branches of its company.
Not number of branches. You are thinking that business unit is a branch.
Yes.
It's not a branch. Business unit is not a branch. So if we create a one business unit for one country. Don't call it as a branch.
Oh, okay, sir.
Okay. So for one company, so legal entities we are going to create one for one country, right? One for one country and one for one line of business. I'm into education. I'm into education line of business, and that too I'm operating only single country. That's why I have created single legal entity. And for the single legal entity, I'm creating single business unit. I want the system to create that business unit automatically. Otherwise, if you select manually, and if you click on the next tab, see here, the business unit is not automatically recommended. You have to create business unit manually. Okay, I'm creating the business unit manually now. And then click on next. And in the next screen, this is the reference data set. This is the reference data set. How many reference data sets you see here? 2. These two are seeded. These two are seeded reference data sets. If you want to use seeded, then continue. Otherwise, if you want to create your own business unit, your own reference data set. Otherwise, if you want to use your own reference data set, then you can create US reference data set. I'm creating my own. I don't want to use common. I don't want to use common. I would like to use my own reference data set. That's why I'm creating US reference data set. And then the reference data set has to be assigned to the business unit. That is the next step. The next step, assignment. Assign the reference data set to the business unit. So this is my BU. And for this BU, we have 3 reference data sets. So the last 2 is seeded and the first one is we created. So I would like to use the one that we created. So I'm assigning that. So for locations, which reference data set you wanted to use? We created it. How many locations as of now? Only one location we have created. I would like to link that location to the same reference data set. I would like to link the location to the same reference data set. Okay. I'm going to explain you from the starting. So we are creating a single division for US, and I have single company. That too, I'm into education, and I'm doing my business in United States, and that's why I'm just creating a single legal entity. Suppose if I'm also running the same business in India, you have to create one more legal entity here. You have to create one more legal entity. So based on the legal entities, in the next screen, system is suggesting us to, so if you select first checkbox, based on the legal entities, system is suggesting the business units. Otherwise, we can create business units manually. So business units also we create for each country. For US, since I'm operating only in US, I have created only one BU. I have created only one BU. Suppose if I'm operating in India also, I'm going to create one more BU for India. One more BU for India. Okay. So generally, as I said, not only legal entity is specific to the country, business unit also created specific to the country itself for many clients, most of the clients. Okay. And then the next step is reference data set. In the reference data set, there are two seeded reference data sets are there, but I don't want to use the seeded ones. I have created my own reference data set. This reference data set, I link it to my business unit. I link it to my business unit. Okay. And coming to the last step, locations. Coming to the last step, locations. Locations I would like to access from the same reference data set. Okay, that's it. Click on save and close. So we saved the entities that we created, right? After saving, we have to load in the application. After saving, we have to load. Okay, so after loading only, they are going to affect in the application. They are going to affect in the application. So we just created now. So this is under here we created enterprise structure, most of the entities today, and again tomorrow you can start the discussion with the client, and if the client is suggesting any changes, do the changes and confirm the changes with the client, and then load into the application. This is a load button. Load into the application. Okay, so right now this load button is disabled. The reason is there are too many are created here. That's why the load button is disabled. Okay, until you load, the entities that you created is not going to be effective in the application. You have to load, then only they are going to be effective in the application. After loading also, before performing the transactions, also, we can roll back. There is a button. Suppose after loading, client is asking you to do some changes. So you can roll back these configurations before doing the transactions. And from this enterprise structure configurator screen, what we are creating the enterprise, right? And then we are creating the divisions, and we are not creating ledger, but we are creating the legal entity, right? And we are creating the business units, and we are creating the reference data sets. Okay, except ledger we are not creating, and then inventory ordination, sub inventories we are not creating, locators we are not creating. What we are creating, enterprise, divisions, and then legal entities and business units we are creating, and also reference data set from the screen. So not only these, we can also create jobs and positions, the jobs and positions of the employee. Okay, like in IT industry also we have jobs, trainee and consultant, and then software engineer, software programmer, software developer, lead tester, their jobs, right? In the similar way, clients are also having jobs. So we need to create those jobs in the application. So we can create jobs from here. Okay, and also see a automatic recommendation based on the industry that we are into. System would like to suggest. Okay, I want to use this option. Click on next. Is there any recommendation? I don't see any recommendations. Oh, so I see the recommendation in the last step. That's not going to be useful. So it's better we can create positions and jobs manually. I want to explore other options. So if you select other options, we can create jobs and positions. But the screen is confusing. The screen is confusing, so we can leave the screen, and better we can create jobs and positions from a different screen. It's very simple over there. If you click on the workforce structure, here, if I click on the jobs, it could be very easier to create jobs from here. So the job set, so see here, what is the reference data set here? Common. And I'm creating jobs under common reference data set. And I'm creating a job as manager, and then short code is MGR. So I think manager would be already created by students. I'm going to prefix it to TL manager, and here also TL MGR. So it's very simple. Okay, just enter the name and code. That's it. That's it. And other details are optional for us, because full-time employee or a temporary employee, other details are optional for us, because generally in real time the job should be created by HR consultant. Okay. So but job level is important. Okay, because based on the value in the level, system is going to recognize the level of this the job. Okay, suppose for a manager you have to enter level as 10. For senior manager you have to enter level as 20. You have to enter the level as 20. So system is going to identify based on the level only, which job is higher and which job is lower. And that's it. Submit it. So it's better to create jobs from here. It's very easy. And positions I'll explain you later. Okay. I created one job. Suppose if you want to create one more job, click on create. And again, I'm creating this job under common itself, common reference data set, and senior manager. And what should be the level? This level should be more than the manager level. So I'm entering 20. That's it. Submit. Okay. So we can create jobs and positions from the enterprise structure configurator screen, but it is a little bit confusing. So better we can create from the workforce structure, the jobs. Okay. So using the enterprise structure configurator, so the advantages, let us talk about advantages. Okay. The advantage is you'll see everything in the single screen. Need not to navigate to multiple pages. You'll see everything in the single screen. And also you can present that screen to the client. And after confirming the client, then only you can load into the application. Until that, you can accept further changes from the client, and you can continuously sit in the discussion with the client today and tomorrow. It may take 1 week time also, that's okay. After the discussions are finalized, then only load it. And then the third method is manual. In case of manual, so this is how we need to configure. This is how we need to configure in case of manual. So we have to go to individual setups. So I'll show you. So to create enterprise, we have to do it from here. To create a legal entity from here, and to create a ledger from here, and to create a business unit from here. Okay. So we are navigating to different places. We are navigating to different places and we are creating them. Okay. So we want to create each entity individually by navigating to those screens. Okay. We'll see that now. Is there any no color option here? I'll see this later. Okay, so let us create reference data set. First, the first setup, reference data set. So to create a reference data set, I'm navigating to the enterprise profile, and then from required tasks to switch to all tasks. So this is we have seen enterprise structure configurator screen. Okay, but we don't want to use that. We would like to create each setup individually from different screen. Okay, so I'm creating a reference data set from here. So what are the seeded reference data sets, team? What are the seeded reference data sets? Common is a seeded reference data set. So if you click on view and if you click on about record history, see here, who created this? It's a seeded data which is coming from the application. Not only this, there is one more reference data set is also there, that is called enterprise. So this is also a seeded. And if you okay to use common, then use common itself. Otherwise, create your own. Okay, I'm creating now. So code and name and description. That's it. Save and close. Okay, and then next is setup. Locations. Next is setup locations. We'll create a location. Okay. So we are talking about enterprise. Enterprise is a headquarter. Where that headquarter is located? What is the location of the headquarter? What is the location of the headquarter? First, we'll create location. Click on manage locations. And then click on create. And this location, you want to create under which reference data set? You want to create under common, or you want to create under your reference data set? I would like to create under my reference data set. I would like to create under my reference data set. Okay. Enter the name of the location. Better to use the prefix so that we can easily come to know this is our location. Okay, because this is the demo instance, right? So everybody is practicing, so better to use your prefix.
Krishna, can we use the batch number also so that no, like we are not confused when we see the screen back to how the location was created?
I'm using my prefix, so you can use some
Oh,
prefix.
okay. Sure, sure.
Yeah, you can use your prefix. Okay. And then country, I'm creating this location for US, so let it be US. Okay. And actually, it should display the zip codes also. I don't remember zip codes. So I just filled the address information. And is there any email ID for this location, and then fax numbers and other phone numbers? Okay, and if you have a phone number, enter here. And so this all information we can leave. This is specific to the country. Uh, Property locations for Spain, Spanish property details. So all these are unimportant. We can leave them and just click on save and then submit. What export? Check the geocode setups. Some issue with this geography.
See how to fix it, Krishna, because we would not be able to practice anything, right?
Even I could not be able to enter or define her.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry about that. Hold on. So this application is not just a supply chain consultant application. It has all the module configuration. So this geography is set up from the HR configuration. I'm not aware of that. Okay. I'm looking for alternatives to enter myself, and also I'll explain you after that. So I don't see any issue with India location here. Okay, I could be able to enter properly the India location. So I'm creating, let us assume I'm creating this location for India itself. So to avoid confusion, I'm selecting common reference data set instead of US reference data set. So this geography setup is from the HR side. I'm not aware of that. Okay, that's why I'm looking for the alternatives. Okay, I entered location for India here, and it's saved successfully. Okay, and just fill only the mandatory details. Fill only the mandatory information. Okay, and then save and submit. So like this, we can create multiple locations of the company. So not only headquarter, we might be having the branches also, right? We might be having the branches also. So gather the information from the client in the Excel document and create those locations in the application. Okay. And if there are 50 locations are there, that's okay. We can create manually. But if there are 1,000 locations are there, if there are 1,000 locations are there, or 50,000 locations are there, then how? Then what is the process? So there is a import process. There is a import process to upload locations. To upload locations. So see here, I'm referring to the second sheet in my document. The second sheet is nothing but master data. So one of the master data object is locations. One of the master data object is locations. Okay, so locations we can upload into the application using FBDA method. Using FBDA method. What is this FBDA method? This FBDA method is nothing but Oracle has provided a sheet, an Excel sheet. We need to fill the information in that Excel sheet. Okay, so if there are many locations are there, then we can use this FBDA method to upload locations. Okay, we have to fill the data in the spreadsheet and then upload this into the application. I'll show you this concept later, because I need minimum 30 minutes to explain this concept. So we are currently defining the enterprise structure configurations. So if I start this concept, we get diverted. Okay, I'll show you this method later. So it would be the same method to upload all the objects, to upload all the master data elements. Okay, and then click on submit. So from the HR side, HR consultants can also configure approvals for the locations. So somebody from the HR team should approve the new location that we created, or somebody from the HR team should approve any changes that we made to the existing locations. So that location approvals also can be configured from the HR side, HR consultant. Okay, so here in this application, the locations that we are creating or the locations that we are editing, it's automatically get approved. It's automatically get approved. Okay, we can see our location now here. So I'm just searching with my prefix, that is TL. Okay, it's created. It is created. What is the status of this location? Active. Okay, and when you are creating a location, try with India location. So there are no issues with that. And I'm going back to the basic sheet, and we are done with the first two setups, that is reference data set creation and then locations creation. And then third setup is enterprise. And then third setup is enterprise. So from the same task list, from the same enterprise profile, click on enterprise HCM information. Click on enterprise HCM information. How many enterprises we can create in the application team? How many enterprises we can create in the application?
Only one.
Only one we can create. Only one we can create. Okay. So since this is a demo application, already one enterprise is created here. Only one enterprise is created. That's why we cannot able to create a new enterprise. But what we can do is we can edit this. we can edit this. It does not impact anything in the application. We can edit this. Okay. I'm going to edit this enterprise to my enterprise. When you're practicing, you can also edit. You can also edit my enterprise. Okay. It does not impact anywhere. So to edit this, click on edit. Either you are updating or either you are correcting the mistakes. I'm updating. I'm not correcting the mistakes. I'm updating the record. Click on update. Click on OK. And enter the name. Enter the name and then location. We created a location, right? So select that location. So I'm editing the existing enterprise. Okay. So while you are practicing also, you can edit the existing enterprise. Okay. So select the location that we have created. This is a headquarter location and we are attaching to the enterprise. And then scroll down to see the start time of the company and then end time of the company. If you want, you can change that. So my company timings are from 9 to 8. Okay. And then 40 hours in a week. 40 hours in a week. And scroll down. So other information is related to HR. Other information is related to HR. See here, salary and so employment configuration and workforce structure related setups. So all the other information is for the HR consultant. Okay. So ignore them. Ignore them. Actually, in the real-time project, if HR consultant is there, that consultant is going to create an enterprise for you. That consultant is going to create the enterprise for you. Okay. Suppose if HR consultant is not there, only client is implementing supply chain. Only client is implementing supply chain. So in that case, you have to create enterprise. So create an enterprise only with the required field. Other fields are not required because HR implementation is not happening. Okay. And then click on submit. Okay. So that's how we create an enterprise. So let me just recap what we discussed today. And today we discussed a reference data set. So the reference data set is used to share the setup data across the business nets. The reference data set is used to share the setup data across the business net. What kind of setup data? An example, salesperson setups, payment term setups, job setups, and also location setups also. location, when you're creating a location, it is asking under which reference data set you are creating that location. Okay, and we can create enterprise structure in 3 ways. The first method is rapid implementation. So we have to fill the information in the Oracle provided Excel sheet and upload into the application. So to try this concept, follow this video. And the second method is enterprise structure configurator. It's a single screen where we can create enterprise divisions, legal entities, and then business trends and reference data sets. So the screen is useful. This concept is useful to present a demo to the client. And then if you want to create them individually, go with the manual method. So we are trying the manual method now. So in the manual method, we created the first 3. We created reference data set and we created one location and we created enterprise. So since we are not able to create enterprise, I have edited the enterprise. Okay. So that's it for today. And